I don't know what color it is, so good morning, ladies. Hi, Purple Purple. You know I always been wanting to say that, right? But you never came over for me to get a chance to say Purple Purple. I think I spoke like one time when you was on someone else's channel, but I always want to say hi, Purple Purple. You did. I truly did. I got to keep that real. I just like how that kind of rings, and uh, it's Coda's Bear favorite color. All right. I was like, I really like how she doubled up the purple. Uh, and, and I kind of wanted you to know that. I did, but under circumstances out here on YouTube, I had to kind of keep that to myself. But I'm glad to see you popping in and to say hi to me. But when I tell you, I really been wanting to tell you for all these years. Like I really like how she has purple purple because in the way that it can be said, right, with like attitude, purple purple, I'm purple. You can't say that like with red, like red is my favorite color, and then following with black, right? But you just can't say that. It's like it only rings with purple. Isn't that crazy? Purple purple, who are you? I'm purple purple. Like it has some substance to it. It has attitude. It has swag to it. So I literally been holding it in for years, and you have, now you know. Okay, now you know. But I like it. I actually love it. I do. I love it. So Ted says good morning. He's sitting here, look, snuggling, snuggling, snuggling. So hi, D Ferris. Hi, sweetheart. But yeah, it's crazy, right? Some things that you serving. Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning, APZ love. Good morning. But it's crazy. Things that you kind of want to say and you just got to hold them in because, you just kind of stir away from what you might have think or thought about what it was and this or that. So I usually just wait to see if there's other people or so like be okay with me. I'm normal with you. But let me tell y'all. So I did my hair today, right? Y'all go over there and like my clip, right? So I was like, let's do my hair, right? See what's going on with it. So most of you guys know that I cut it, girl. Yeah, I put that filter on this morning, boo. I put that filter on there, right? But most of you guys have seen like when I cut it, right? And I'll cut it because I'm tired of combing and I get a little lazy with this and lazy with that. I might cut it because, oh my God, if you have tried something different with it, it's you can damage it. It's hard, right? They think that they say it's hard out here for a pimp, y'all. Shit, hard out here, to keep all of this feminist stuff going, right? And I'm going out today, which I should have did yesterday because I didn't know that this stuff was coming today, but I have to go out today because of the grocery. But yeah, look at this stuff coming down. I do this with y'all every year, and I know most of y'all that stay in the cold states kind of get it too, but look at this. You're like, really? But I gotta go out. I gotta go out. I have to go out. Other than that, I would have stayed in. But I stayed in yesterday when I got off work, right? And it was bearable to go out yesterday. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too cold. Now today, I'm like, really? You couldn't wait on me? Why didn't you wait on me, Jesus? Wait on me. But So now, just leaving it alone for a while and throwing the braids in and, you know, just leaving it naturally and putting curl stuff in it. I'm like, okay, I got tired of that. How many of you guys make so many changes to you just can't decide? Now I'll leave this alone for a while, right? But when I cut my hair, I also put those like the brown or gold streaks in it. And I cut it. So I'm like, I cut that stuff out. I cut the dye out, right? So now I don't do dye anymore. My hair is too fragile for it, but it's sensitive, right, to where I just can't handle it. So I will like do a rinse, but we know that the rinse is temporary, right? So it'll last about 2, 3 weeks, depending on how much you wash your hair or the different type of conditioner and shampoo that you use, because it can just strip that rinse right on up out of it too, right? So today I was up because I was finishing up a paperwork that I had to work on, which I'm still not done, right? But thank you, APC. So as I'm doing it, right, I'm like, why does it still show the streaks when I cut it out? I don't have an answer for that. Who has an answer for that? You want some snow? Come on, baby. You can come right on over here. We can cook us up some tacos or something and sit here and you can have you some snow. I prefer the summer, the warmer months. No snow, I do, but unfortunately, it is what it is, and I know that trouble don't last always, right? But I need to know, why is it that these streaks keep growing in there? Now, right now, I am juggling three colors: my black brown hair, and then the streaks hair. I don't understand it, right? I don't get it. And then, of course, because of my age, right? It's the gray hair. The gray ain't going nowhere. I don't care what you do to it. Color it, dye it, whatever. It's going to always come back if you are at that stage or experiencing the DNA factor part of it, right? You're going to turn gray, right? Get gray, right? My grandmother and them, all of them had a head full of gray. I happen to like gray. I happen to love the gray mixture in the men. I love it. I especially when they are at the age of 50 and over, right? And you kind of see that little gray like shot. Yeah, I love it. I love the gray like goatee that's mixed with the black. I be like, oh, especially when it's trimmed and hooked up and stuff. I do like that, but so I'm not trying to hide it anymore because I know it comes in. I'm just trying to make it work with, my big old pea head and stuff like that. But so I got up today and I'm like, oh, let me do it. But I see it. I'm like, what? Why did it come back? Girl, silver beers, baby, baby. When I tell you, and you got the right, physique and the build, and it's cut so nicely and it's soft, I'd be like, oh God. I'd be like the first thing that I noticed, like, oh God, look at that gray coming in, so pretty and shiny. It'd be so I'd be like, very nice. But um, I don't know. So I'm struggling with this. I mean, there's nothing that I can do with it. I found that out because I just literally tried to cut it out and it just came right back. So I don't know. Maybe I'll stop by a salon or something and just ask them like, why does the dye streak keep manifesting in my hair? So it is what it is. I'll leave it like that. But shout out to Serena. She was like, well, no, don't cut it. If you guys did the poll right, I'm gonna leave it alone. But I will go. I'm not going to clip my ends. I will go and let them kind of clip them. However, I make sure that you clip the amount that I want you to clip. I think that all beauticians, to a certain extent, can be scissor happy. Boy, they'll be chopped. They love to chop, 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 chop. Yeah, but I wanted to peep in just so that you guys can actually kind of, see the results after I did my short on it, where I that was just a condition in it. I was just messing around with it, but it feels good. It feels better. It feels happy. So that's it. And I guess since hair plays the most important part of our lives, I don't know. But also to establish my point out here that I do have dwelled from a generation that, has hair. And I guess it's no big thing to me. As you guys can see, I can literally cut this stuff right now and it wouldn't affect or bother me. But I'm like, oh, okay, I can do it. See, I can go short, I can grow it to the medium length and all that stuff. Will I ever let it grow as long as I want it to, or if I can grow it that long? No, because then I'll get irritated by it. I like my face to be, you know, clear. Nothing. I don't like all that stuff on my neck. So then you end up growing it, and then you're stuck with it in a ponytail anyway. But it feels good. But y'all know what? I just wanted to put my opinion out here on two. Before I do that, let me tell y'all also why I'm going out, because I'm a little bit pissed off. I go get my nails done, right? We pay a lot of money for the nails, and the toes, right? I'm with you, D. I am with you all the way. That's exactly how I truly feel. I love the short hair. I really do. So I don't know. I don't know. I might wake up one morning and be like, oh, let me go get this stuff cut right back off. It is so manageable, especially when your day is so busy. So busy. So you haven't cut your ends in over 10 years. You get scissor. You get scissor happy, girl. Coda Bear was like, "Ma, I need you to cut my end." Nope, nope, nope. So I sent her over to J.C. Penney, and they clipped her ends for her. I'll pay for you because you don't want me to clip it, baby. You be. I got Edward hands, girl. I'll be. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta do that side. Oh, I gotta do that side. Oh, I gotta do that side. But I'm happy with the results right now. But I also stand with D. I like short. So we will see how this goes. It better not get on my nerves. And I don't feel like waking up early in the morning to try to, blow it out and get it back nice and neat and all that stuff. The only thing right now that is bothering me a little bit about it is the colors. Because I don't know what color my hair is. Like, what the fuck? What? But it is what it is. We done seen, and y'all done seen me with a whole bunch of colors. I done had, well, I don't know if y'all seen me with the blue. I done did the purple. I done did the gold. So I'll have fun with it right now. But, okay, I got to go out because I feel like I paid, I got my nails done, right? And I only do the gels, and I keep them low like this to prevent them from breaking, or and breaking too low or whatever, while I'm working. And I also like for my hand to feel comfortable and free, not restricted, and have my mind restricted and focus so much on I gotta be, careful with this and careful with that and all of that click click clacking. I mean, I like when some girls do it though, but then I got my feet done, right? Feet is okay. Love my feet, y'all. I think I have beautiful feet. But so I looked down yesterday and I was like, oh my God, it chipped. Now, I don't know if acrylic does that, but y'all see it chipped right there. So I'm on my way. I'm gonna go and run back over to the salon, nail salon. I'm like, I need you guys to touch this up because I've only had this done now for 7 days, and no, let's find something else that, where if I accidentally bump it, it doesn't chip away on me like this, because I didn't pay too much money, y'all. And that's why I don't go. You multiply all that 40 to the $85, toes and nails, $85, right? And you try to go bi-weekly on that, man, that's a lot of money. I'm a little cheap. But they say you can't be cheap with yourself, but shit, I'd be like, what? But Okay, so that's that. But I want to kind of know if you guys um, put your opinions out here about that whole 50-50 club. What's his name? Cobb and Anton, right? Because I've surfed quite a few channels just to listen to it. Now, one of my favorites that I like to hear reaction to something like that is Judge Joe Brown, which you guys will find him over on that lady show called Dana. Judge Joe Brown comes out and he always just cracks me up with his genuine opinion about certain things, right? So he had put his opinion about it and kind of summed it up in one sentence, kind of the way that I would have summed it up. Also, like he called it basically, GHISH crap, nigga. Yeah, he did. I was like, look, will you look at this here? Will you look at this here? You know, and opinions and people personal factors to a subject, right, it can cause a certain type of debate, whether it stays humble or it escalates to a possible physical, right? But you're challenging each other's mental based on your knowledgeable view pertaining to the subject, right? And the subject matters sometimes requires, not sometimes, it requires research, right? And you do your research on it, and then you elaborate and start to give your synopsis and editorial point of view about what you found in your research, right? You want to break it down and elaborate on it so that it can pan out to be fitted inside of the storyteller, the truth teller of how things have come about and was established and where they're going from that and what the outcome may be about some things, right? So the one thing that captured me, and I also, because I've listened to Taz on it, right? And I left a comment on his page. It's something that I hardly, like I say, would never do, but sometimes when a certain spirit will move you where it's like, okay, I had to type something, and I normally don't type shit, right? But he went to elaborate on the fact of Anton speaking on, which I'm still learning, right? I'm always work in progress, learning in progress also, right? And Christianity versus your culture, your ethics, right? Are you black? And are you brown? Are you white? Are you green? Are you purple? Right? So Anton says that he's, not black. He's Christi- Christianity first. And I'm saying, okay, Christianity and Christian. And so I'm sitting here and I'm just trying to break that down to myself. What evil? Why you being love? Why have you been friend? Why you being friend? But good morning to you and happy Saturday to you. And I'm glad you popped in. So, and I'm saying this is what happens. I miss you too. How's your relationship? How's your boo thing? You got to tell me about it now. I've been wanting to update on it, but hold that thought for 1 second because I want to get this out, Eva, right? And I'm saying, are we really finna argue about the growth that you have within yourself of name tagging yourself to something, right? Whether if it's Republican or Democrat, Christianity or non-Christy Christianity, it's just all weird, and it's been weird to me for a lifetime. Labeling ourselves to become something or to sounded in what you speaking it's just, no, I just find it crazy. You can ask me, well, what are you? Well, yeah, I was doing birth and growth. And I look, I'm like, well, okay, I know I'm a black American, a brown American or whatever, right? But as far as being saying that, no, I'm not black anymore, but I'm Christianity first. I don't think that that was something that need to be put out to become a challengeable question about, right? Your Christianity first. When you're born, you don't even know whether if this is your religion and what you actually respect or know that you were going to be growed into this to label yourself as such. Does being a Christianity make you more powerful than what you were naturally born as far as your skin color or your background? Like you're black. You were born actually a black boy, a black baby at first, and you growed until once you found out what fits you to give you the right, because everybody has the right to start labeling yourself such as different, to be differently or better in your lifetime. Okay, that's fine, but I thought it was weird. Like, no, you're a black man. Maybe I don't understand the totality of being Christian to label myself as that, or label myself as a Jew, or label myself as a Gentile, or label myself as the devil. I'm it's when we get off of that track, it makes me like, how do we fall into this because of history has says this and history has said that, and I'm going to adopt that and make myself as such. That part is just was weird to me to remotely challenge on. I just didn't understand it. Are you trying to say that you're, because you're labeling yourself as I'm a Christian or Christianity first, right? That I'm better, I'm bigger, I'm better than people? No. So back to the Taz show that he had on it, and where I left the comment on it, right? And just by choice, I just felt like that I wanted to, and I don't usually do it, like I said, but I said on there that, and I need to go to my phone because I'm not going to say it to you guys verbatim, but in a sense, I was saying that this is what the power of money does. It's not Christianity that changed this person. It's not the blackness that changed the person. It's not the white that changed the person. Doing that narrative of that conversation, just at that snippet, right? It is the fact that, in my opinion, money changes a person. Once you gotten yourself to a certain level where you feel that you can say things out of the circle of the context of what the conversation is and is about. Well, that's how I relate, back to it. Like, what caused you to want to be this different, and of course dignified as such, to say some things like that? It's weird. It was just weird to me. So hi Sheila, thank you, hon. And then he also spoke on the fact that because he was not, or never have been, incarcerated, that he would have not known to say, what he said, or some things that he says. And in general, you actually don't have to be incarcerated or ever arrested or anything to know the jargon of the way people speak and think and how thing goes out here. Yes, babe. You want to talk? What do you want to say? I'm on. The ladies are on. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Cleo. Hey, Patricia. And so, that was part of their argument too, with him saying that he is not aware that certain things shouldn't be said in a certain pretext type kind of way because he has not never been around or this has never happened to me. And I'm thinking, well, why are your studies only minimized to certain areas where you are able to say certain things and they should be accepted? I think that a person of his caliber, right, when he's going viral and stuff, that you should have subjected yourself to different or a lot of areas where you can understand different backgrounds of things. That's just how I felt, when he said to the guy on the 50-50 show, right, about you can go and suck a person's, I'm gonna call it a doc, right, instead of a the other word, right. He understood what he said, and the way he said it, it you was to, in my opinion, make him feel, imperial, but and not streetwise, but the way that Combe understood it, it came to him as the street talk that would inflict a fight, a beef or something. So, and like I said, it's just because he's on this particular level that he thinks that he's on, and the way that he felt that it was clean, it was a clean version to him. I just generalized, like, okay, like you are like a whiner, just like you, it's okay with you just because you're okay with X, Y, and Z with the black culture and blah blah blah, and you're running around and being able to be the person that you are and say the things that you do and act the way that you do because you're sucking suck ping ping. But when you look at Anton, right? Well, the same thing could have been said, about him as well, on the same level and understanding to his understanding of the way that he put it out. But so you're looking at two different, you know, level. You got level and unlevel going up against each other, and it's crazy. Anton claims or appears to want to not have some street life in him, but he also speaks on Detroit. I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. But in one sense, how are you going to want to speak on or saying to someone about sucking, people doc, right? As a intelligent and intellect factor, but then on the other hand you want to talk about the street part, that because I'm from Detroit, I'm from the street too, I know all about the street. It just did not match for me. If you are going to be over here and up there, then stay over here and up there. Don't bring your badness in your street life off by standing behind a state that or city that you are from to show that I can also do this. It's like state one, all that up and down stuff. That's the killer part for me. But at the same time, I'm understanding the people and their insight of opinions based on Anton and how he speaks. I'm not subscribed, but when he comes on, I watch him. Even when it comes to when it came to the presidential campaign, when it comes to the Republicans or the lefties or the Democrats and all of that stuff, right? But let me speak on that for a second because those titles also would be something that I just would never label myself. I'm just neutral, and if I choose to be a citizen of the United States and choose to go out and vote or this or that, it's basically on the values, what's important, not just for me, but sometimes what I think that people of my kind would like to see happen when it comes to all of these bills and things that are being signed or pushed through office, right? So I'm just, that's what's got us all screwed is this labeling factor. Because you're this person or this makes you this, and I get it. It's you stand for a cause and something of sort, right? Kind of like how I didn't feel like I was a activist or out there for R. Kelly. I felt that I was just a normal just person participating in something of what I felt as that they gave me a reason to stand for something, not because I wanted to be an activist or I'm a judge, a executioner, or anything. So, what you say, babe? Yeah, but I didn't. I'm saying that I didn't want to stand up to make it pronounced. I don't have to, like pronounce. I'm an activist. I'm an activist. No, I thought that I can. I was just I'm a supporter. I, I'm a supporter. I think a supporter have choices. Activists is like what we saw pronounced with that what's her name, Nicole, the young lady that just got killed up in Minnesota. She clearly said, "I'm an activist. I'm an activist for immigrants that is being deported illegal out of the country." Right? And she made that known that this is what I do. Not and to say that is that this is something that she like literally does like on a daily basis. This is her job. So anybody that runs across this type of situation, she's always going to be there. This is
What you were doing where you were an activist. Now, that might not have been your intentions, but the definition of your actions automatically label you as an activist.
and I think
That you
that
were
being an
activist.
activist is
The root
somebody
word,
that is actually out there doing it for every immoral.
no, activist, the root word to activist is action. You're taking action against something that you feel one way or another about.
That you
It
want to
doesn't have to
support.
be. It doesn't have to be continually. It doesn't have to be with just only certain. It can be just with certain circumstances that you feel strongly about. And what do? You take action. The root word to activist is action. So by you taking actions and the steps that you did while you were taking action, that's how you define an activist. Even though that wasn't your intention, that wasn't the way you were viewing it. That's something that you felt strongly about, you took to heart, and you went out there and you attempted or tried or did do something about it. That's the definition of an activist.
Okay. So just to understand, Anton's point of view about the argument when he was speaking quite a bit about the misunderstood, I guess, also the understood to certain people pertaining to the black culture, right? And how there were this certain percent of black people that dwelled in some wrongness out here, and how black people were still supported, or as opposed to the percentage of the white folks doing this and doing that, and they may be in their fair game of doing the things that they do, right? But at the same time, it's a person like that has no problem at all. I think this is kind of similar to what my comment was on Taz show, right? About we can you would talk about it. To me, when it comes to Anton, for the most part, there is a lot that he says that appears to where he is, you know, kind of putting some of the black generation down, right? But at the same time, we'll have no problem coming on here receiving the astronomical vote from black people as far as their support when they're donating. You're okay. You're okay. I was asking also, I wonder what is his percentile of the black populated people out here that does support monetarily. How much has he gained his wealth from the whites as opposed to the black people? I wonder, is there a stat that can, ever show that, and it becomes a little crazy to me, because you will still have predominantly, if that stat shows what I just asked, that put a person way up here. We put them up there thinking that this or that will be the right person, a spokesperson that will be saying things that sounds convincing or that is true as their a factor in their statement that would sway in the way that the black people kind of look at it about what has happened throughout the history of our lifetimes out here, and coming from our ancient history, that helped develop or mold the way society is and humanation is, right? But I don't hardly ever hear that, especially come when I was listening to a lot of the Democrats out here, of Obama or Michelle, and so on and so forth, to that caliber, right? Those people to that level, right? It was like he had always had something a little bit foul to say. I think that he is somewhat of a Trump supporter because I have heard him say some things that was in the protection of Trump's speaking on quite a bit of shows and things where you have a lot of other people would oppose to what Trump was saying. But there's the statement that is also being made out here that if we know that a lot of these things are going on or has been going on and has jeopardized and the black culture and put black culture in certain situations or whatever. I hear also, Anton's message about, well, then get up and do something. I've heard the same message when I listen to Judge Joe Brown over on the Dana show, right? It's like we can talk and we can talk and we can talk and we can talk, but it's like you just kind of got to get up and go do something about it. Then I hear Mr. West, Kanye West, as I forget, I have a hard time pronouncing his name. Kanye, something like that, right? Where he says that, okay, we've been fighting for over 600 and something years, over 600 and something plus years, right? Most of us have seen the changes out here. Most of us do live, according to where there is peace or there has become the wealth that you are okay with and have desired, or you just comfortable. So I have seen that. So there has been quite a few changes and stuff out here. But we could have probably still been in slavery. I don't know, but they got a whole big old thing going on out here now, where I'm trying to understand it. Where if we would end up in a big war, war that we have, I have never seen or experienced before in my life. I don't know what I would do if certain China or whatever would start, bombing the United States, and the way that we have seen other countries get bombed. I don't know. The Twin Towers was enough for me. It's like, oh my God, it was the most devastating thing that I think that I would ever or have ever experienced in my lifetime up to where I am now in life. Something that would never go away. And I used to think that I would never experience or see anything of such, right? Never in my years. But I'm like, okay, we are still in existence of these type of turmoils out here. So, hey, sweet K. But so you had those two disparity treatment of arguments, statements going on in their arguments. But you know, I asked myself, well, what did I get out of this after reviewing it and watching it? And basically nothing but another day. Two guys that allegedly went on a show to speak on some other different topics and values coming out of those topics, but it didn't unfold that way. They just couldn't bring themselves back to the original, I believe, context of what their topic was going to be about. They were done and over with once Anton had said what he said. They just couldn't get back to it. So I agree with Judge Joe Brown was saying, oh, that was just a bunch of, neg crap that went on, and two men that just got heated up and it went left pretty much. And, it went viral. It went viral. I'm like, holy cow, let me go and, watch it. So that's what made me watch that. And I got nothing out of it. Nothing much at all. Nothing but, I say, two men that can argue. So, and another day to move on, pretty much. But I don't know. What did y'all like about it? What did y'all watch it? Who do you all agree or disagree with? And you'll probably say both because they both did have some agreeable factors and disagreeable factors in it, but it's crazy. It was just crazy. I was like, wow. I don't know. They probably left that show shaking hands and went out for $100 steak after that. But that's where I see the growth come from when I look inside of Anton's YouTube world over there. That you allegedly could have been supported by or have been supported by so many black people to gain that monetary wealth that he has. He flosses his watches and the cars and his traveling on the airplanes and all of that stuff. Some things that most of the people that do donate to help the growth desire, but don't have that expertise in entertaining to capture the black people, such as myself, right? To have, to get the growth like that. But I think that once they get there, this is the power that I don't want to say anointed that they receive within whatever particular spirit that moves you in it to change your whole demeanor of life and people who you get up here, people down here become the scum of the earth to you. You are better than them. You speak better than them, you walk better than them, you live better than them. But I think that I can say as a witness that I have seen it, and seen it, where some celebrities or so get knocked right back down, and come out with a fabulous story and they boohoo tears about how this happened and you hate it and this cause of this and this. I've seen it, but I don't know. I would like to see the stats on it. I would like to see what is the majority when it comes to the different cultures or the different of colorism of people that support certain people to bring them up to that statue. Good morning, love. Good morning. I'm going to speak on that something too. Wow. Rated R is peeping in for a second, but I truly do believe that. But once they get up there, y'all, because it is a general public that helps each other reach it to the top like that, you could best to believe at some point or mid point or turnabouts in their lifestyles, right? It's time to go and shit on the people that brought you up there. That one there got me. I guess I'll have to pull and look up a little bit more researching on it, on how Christianity becomes first. How do a person chooses that as far as them being born that first over the color of your skin or the DNA factor of where you originated from. I need to know that answer, and that's a it's a difficult one. Seems to be for me because I've rephrased the question in my head over and over and over. I'm, you know, what do you call it? Can't think of the word right now, but I thought that was weird. I thought that was really weird, and I also think that that's where what is the guy named Combe? What is his first name? Can't think of that either, y'all. My mind be going poof so much. I don't know, but I think that that also is where his form of agitation had come from when Anton started saying that I was born I'm Christianity first before black. I was like, not when you came out the womb, you wasn't. Not that. No, that didn't. As far as I know, that's not that how that happens in that order. Maybe later on down the road you did, So, but I don't know, you guys. I just that's what I saw now. Now, the second thing that I wanted to give my opinion on, and you know what? Hey, shout out to the two men. Shout out for the viral video. Next week or 2 weeks later, it's gonna be something else. This whole thing about this Tasha K and this just hilarious, right? I kind of caught a few episodes of that going on out here, right? Just hilarious. Just Jazz says what she says, about Tasha K. And this goes back to where we have the choices. Oh yeah, the boxer Clarissa, the block. Okay, we can hold off on the Tasha K name. Let me just say this: that they are firing off at each other, right? Um, we all know Tasha K usually have herself in a position where if there's enemies of your product that is coming after you, that she will open the platform up to give them their showtime, to have some exposing moments on the enemy that is also their enemy. And that's just how it works out here in the YouTube channel, right? Just listening to the video when just hilarious started talking about Tasha K is this and looks sweaty and she's ugly and all of these things, of course, triggered Tasha K. Also gives Tasha K now a moment back out in the highlight to have a quorum that would appear to everybody that is a beef, right? And of course, now Tasha K is got her people on those hotlines and emails and you name it or whatever, and or people open up so that now people can contact her, whether this is just hilarious, ex-boyfriend, ex-man, ex this, and kind of similar to the Clarice story too, right? And now they have something to say. Young guy calls in, it says that he was in a motorcycle accident, and he knew just hilarious very well. Spent plenty times with her, and now he's out here exposing the fact that, well, she was on some heavy substance out here that you kind of line up and it looks white and it goes up your nose, and then he comes back to say that at one point he was on and doing some things also to numb his pain from the accident, but because just hilarious at some point in time made some statements or something about him, and here's a perfect time now for him to strike back. That get back is a bitch, ain't it? The get back is a bitch. This is why I have grown to the person that I am, where you have to keep your circle very, very small. all that friend shit, friend tone stuff, that shit got to be thrown out the window now. Because the minute somebody feels that you have crossed them or have not, in this case, Clarissa's case, where you haven't done right by them, helped them, get whatever the case may be, they coming back. People come back. I can toot my horn just a little bit, right? Because I knew, yeah, once I left high school, and I didn't leave it because of someone signifying out here through her gills that I dropped out and I didn't get education and stuff. No, I graduated. So that's what I meant by I left there. It was time for me to go. I graduated, okay? And I closed it. I literally closed it. I can tap on Facebook and stuff if I want to do a post or this or that, but the posts and the things that I put up and put out, it's only I that kind of know about that. You're not going to have 5 or 10 different people that knows one pap story or inside of her life like that. You have to. You never know what part at any given time that would trigger that devious mindset. You don't know. So it's like, you know what? Let's shut it down. It's okay to be by yourself. It is. It's okay to shrink your circle down to it's that freaking small so that you know that you have avoided all of those demonic obstacles out there that can happen. It's insane. But this young man comes on because just hilarious allegedly said some things about him that he did not like after he had a terrible motorcycle accident that broke his neck and broke this and had this, and he was in the hospital and he got on painkillers and stuff to reduce some of the pain that he was feeling until he gotten better. But now that he's a lot better and he's remembered things that she had said, and he didn't like them, but now he can speak now. And of course, there's an open line for him to do so. A bigger platform, a bigger, open line. So now that everybody can hear basically what he has to say about what apparently turned out from a good friendship to a bad friendship. And Tasha K's taking advantage of it all, honey. Just soaking it all in and don't have a problem putting it out. And it also saves her from being entrapped into a particular lawsuit because these things are being said by other people, but based on the similarity of Tasha K's feelings. I'm going to get the hate train going, and I just looked down. I was like, oh, wow. But don't let it be you. Don't let that be you. Now, the Clarissa and the Papoose situation. If he's using her, that's a grown ass woman who is capable of making decisions. Now, whether if she's still going to stay with him because she just wants to have her man, that's on her. If she wants to take care of this man, knowing that during the Christmas and the Easter and the Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, that Papoose is going to be over there with Remy Ma, that's on her. But the information that has been put out, she ain't been, too single, too much. She didn't had a man here and there or this or that. So, but I also watch the Tasha K bring out, now that I've learned, it's actually, I think, was it a cousin of hers or a sister? One or the other, right? And of course, I'm not going to say that the lady is bitter, revengeful, or any of that, but what I will say is that now she has found her moment to start sharing their lives of her and Clarissa out here due to some factor, as she stated, this was her words, that Clarissa should have stayed quiet, or Clarissa shouldn't have done this, and Clarissa should have not let things go to her head, and she needed, some help here and there, and you're up there now, and you won't reach, in your side pocket to kind of throw your family back anything and help us. You're too busy allegedly chasing a man or being with a man that doesn't want you and that does not hold a divorce certificate. So relevancy against versus non-relevancy. I don't know. You guys have to make that choice. Is it? I just watch it, man. I just be watching it. Shit. Just don't make it you. That's all I say. That's just don't be you. I don't know. But I was like, oh, so she dated a boxer, and she did this. I was just listening to all of the details, but what I did like about the sister or the cousin, I'm not sure again which was which. I'm not sure, but she balanced that out. You know what I'm saying? She balanced that out. She told now the social media's network a lot of her. She was she only she only dealt with being a trick. She was a trickster or something, and she was I guess a low ball, a low budget. I don't know. A drug dealer who did what she had to do inside of her home with taking care of a lot of her family members on that. But then I guess she fell on hardship. Things didn't work out too well. She didn't become a 3 times millionaire from selling drugs out the house. So the bills were becoming due and she couldn't make those bills. So yeah, some things happened and she had a baby in between time and she ended up with 5. And at this time, she says that Clarissa stepped forward to adopt the baby because she did not want to birth the child. And things went left between those two. Tasha K thought it was funny though when the young lady was speaking about how Clarissa didn't have any knockouts right there. She's only elevated by, I guess, the points. Don't ask me because I don't know how the boxing stuff works or whatever. And also that she is not managed or sponsored or something by someone in the boxing lane, entrepreneur field, I guess, is happens to be music producers or something that is endorsing and keeping her up in there. But then I ask myself, well, hell, if that works, then I guess it works. I don't particularly care about that. You kind of do what works for you and what's going to get you there, I guess. But I don't know. It's hard to say, in my opinion, to even make an opinion, establish opinion. What should Clarissa do? Should she leave Papoose because he is divorced? And that's like saying that we might as well get out here, as Bay said, well, she'd be an activist of saying, don't date married, men. I don't know, because there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of women that are out here with a married man. There's thousands and hundreds. Or are we going to become activists and saying that don't do this when we are focusing on the celebrity part of people? So we just gonna leave the not the ghetto, but the low established, or the non-entertainers and the non-celebrities. We just gonna let them have the pass. Yes, they meant but we won't what's right or what we think is right to apply to celebrities. I don't know, Sheila. I don't know, because I don't know. I don't know what she should do. Hi, Lily. Hi, sweetheart. But I think that what she doing, if she feels that it's working for her, then it works for her. I feel that if Papoose leaves her to go back home to Remy Ma, I personally don't think that that would be a good idea no time soon. I think that maybe they can still be together and maybe co-parent, coexisting with the co-parenting thing if they choose to do so. But there has all we still have to think about the fact that, not we, but I'm just generalizing it, right? The fact that, well, what would Papoose be going back to, because he had his reasons for leaving his wife, and I saw that battle. I saw, the guy that came on and broke the story about Remy Ma and her cheating or sleeping with what appeared to have been someone that Papoose had known. And so his heart and things was also torn and broken, from that. I watch and follow them, Papoose, during the time that he was sitting out here and waiting for his wife to arrive back home from being incarcerated, and holding things down and such. A lot of people think or says that, well, Papoose only did it because, Remy Ma allegedly was the bread maker. So, bread maker or not, I mean, he did sit and wait. I have not seen a story break out here about Papoose with any other woman while Remy was incarcerated. I have not seen and came across a story about that. So that, in my opinion, tells me that this man can be, a great man, to somebody, I mean, he sat and waited. He sat and waited. Why y'all laughing? He waited, but then things, she got home. Remy Ma is trying to get back on her game and get her monies rolling back in and entering underground battles and stuff like that. And then it got caught up in Creek Creek. Yeah, I creep. Yeah, I just keep it on the down low. Then he found out. How did he find out about this stuff going viral out here? Can you imagine that? So he's been through some heartbreaking too. His heart was broken too. Now, from what I heard on the curb through growth, right? When men get their heart broken in the opposite way of, because normally it's to me, normally to me, it would be more so of the women catching the man cheating, right? But in this case, you got the man who finds out that his woman had, a whole relationship. I don't whether if it was for 2 3 days or 2 3 years, right? And he was hurt behind that. I think that men are also capable of carrying that stigma with them for a while. So now they're saying that, well, Papoose allegedly could be using Clarissa. Now, this was said also on the Tasha K show, so I can get that right, that him and allegedly Remy Ma is working together, to get this 300 and 400 or 500,000 out of Clarissa, which I thought was kind of undermining like statement, crazy, right? Like, because why would Clarissa sit up there and not have her finances guarded to that, to that certain extent, knowing that Papoose is unwelcomed or travels or still connected to Remy Ma in certain, in that way, whether if it's by the children and it's also by still being legally married to her. That's all you need to know to protect your jewels, protect what's going on with you. Now, if Clarissa is sitting up there, let me see what my battery is at. 48. If Clarissa is sitting up there because she is way head over heels in this love love thing, debacle with the papoose and everything, right? And you're not going to protect yourself because you're that far deep in love with him, and this is the last man you'll ever have in your life, or whatever the case may be. Then that's on her. That means that she just ain't as smart to the game as she should be. That's just kind of how I look at it, because I know damn well mine would be protected. I know damn well that the only money that they would be able to get out of me is what I allow it to get out of me. And that's goes with saying that Papoose comes inside of the home, and Papoose need $100,000 because he want to go do this, and but I can only go off of what he's telling me, because I'm still going to keep established what is called trust, right? You gotta trust him until you actually reach that dead end of it. Then you can cut it off. Now he want to take the 100,000 off of what he asked me for it for, and it's used for something else outside. And the $100,000, I can see, okay, Remy Ma done pulled up in a Bugatti. We know Bugattis cost more than that, right? And then it goes viral out here that Papoose just purchased Remy Ma a brand new car, and you know for a fact that Papoose doesn't have any money. All of the areas have been checked thoroughly, right? The bank accounts, the stocks, the this, the hopefully you can only go out off of that, right? And yes, it's time to cut that. That's a wrap. That's a WRAP. That's now you done found out. You don't go and allow it to happen to you the second time go round. That you have to go through some things to know some things, learn the things, decide about the things, and then fix the things. You can't fix it without knowing it. Is I guess what I'm saying. But we also will have those, some women, when you are in love like that, will just allow it to be what it is, because there could also be a beneficial factor in it for Clarice. What is she getting? She getting Showtime. She getting all the drama now. She's getting the same way that goddamn baddies and all that other shit work. She's getting some Showtime out here. People are knowing who she is, and at this point, they don't give a damn whether if it's a good story or a bad story. People don't give a shit. They just want my name. My name now. That's kind of how I think that people are looking at it now. And the more controversy that you bring, as far as controversy being swaying more to the negative side of things, oh, we love that. We love that. We got to come out here, got to prove something, and we gonna argue with you on it. That's just us. I don't say us as black cultures or white cultures. I'm saying us just in the human populated world. We just do that, right? We just do that. It's crazy. It's never ending. I was watching before I get ready to go. I was watching Hercules last night, and I'm listening to it and watching it, right? And just it kind of fits their storyline, fits exactly the storyline inside of this social media world. The whole entire storyline. I can relate a whole bunch of stuff from social media, the YouTube world, right into the Hercules movies. It was crazy because I'm watching. I was like, "Yep, that's that. Oh yeah, that isn't that crazy? That's so ironic. It's crazy." But because I gotta go, I'm going to go out for breakfast because I'm not cooking. Over to one of my favorite restaurants, and then gotta get some groceries. Yeah, and then probably bounce at a few other stores and stuff, and then head my butt back up in here because this snow is not playing. But guess what? I want to make this announcement as clear as I can do so. Yesterday, I slept all day. So all of the texts and messages that I got, I am aware of them early this morning about 5 o'clock when I got up because I've been up since 4:30, right? And that's because I slept all quite a bit yesterday. But R. Kelly, there's a petition that has been produced out here for R. Kelly again. I have not shared it on my channel because it is being shared throughout some of the platforms that has attraction to it. My channel just doesn't get that. I have the regulars over here, right? So I don't want people to not know. 'Cause here's your time to know that I've cast my signature. And I repeat it to a lot of you guys out here that at this point of time, I just pretty much am worried about what it is that I do. Because sharing it over here in this community, which is pretty much where I am, it's not, in my opinion, going to make a difference over here. So I would rather for the people that is sharing this, that has those platforms that are connected to two, three, four different social media accounts and things out here, I rather see it get pushed through there. I do. Um, my support for R. Kelly stands where it stands. There is absolutely nothing at this time that's going to change my mind about how I feel, why I did what I did, and whoever I choose to support. But on the same hand, doing it over here, over here, especially with what I know that we are working with over here, it just becomes a waste of time for me. It does not make me feel good sharing it over here. It does not make me feel good speaking about it anymore over here at all. This community over here, when it's time or chosen to support R. Kelly, is such undesirable to do. So undesirable to do. However, I have no problem putting that on my Facebook if I go over there. However, I'm not on Facebook regularly like that, right? So I don't get the attraction to it. So there, it probably won't get shared at all. So I support and stand behind those people who are genuinely showing it and signing it in my own way. But I've done my part. You can't do, I mean, what, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 of them. Now, the petition that is out, which I had to go and check it out, which I'm still not, done. Check it out. It wants you to download an app, I believe, to do so. And I'm a little anal, right? Because when you download the app and you got to make your decisions about particular app, the app things, because these damn apps burn your battery out the more you have, even though they have made the phones a lot better to withhold so many apps in there. But then I'm like, okay, now I got an app on my phone that I would barely ever freaking use. I only need the app to get in there to sign up and to sign the petition. Now, here's the con side. The pro side, I've already stated. I will share it where I feel that it is desired to be shared. And right now, over here, it's just undesirable to me. I will support and stand behind all of the people that are choosing to share it. Y'all got my shout out over here. Y'all do. My utmost shout out. Okay. Um, but here's a con side, because there's always a con side. And I'm gonna say it. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I have to download a freaking app to do so. I don't know if it's doing it to, at this point, that helps the production of the music, or this, or or this or that. And frankly, I don't think I give a shit. But it's an app that I just won't use, and I'm like, but I get it. You got to sometimes go through the leaps and bounds to get to the root of the freaking cabbage. I got to sign this, so I got to do all of this and do all of that and do all of this. I get it. But um, they say give it some time. R. Kelly told y'all, just give it some time. And we know that a lot of time has transpired. I get it. But I stand faithful. I stand hopeful that things would turn around, that the truth within the law turns around for R. Kelly. I do. So, but in the meantime, that's where I stand with the whole petition thing for our well written, beautiful. It's attractive. All the bullet points are there, and I was like, oh wow, somebody really did they work for this. But you know, I just want to sign it. That's it. According to the petition, you have the option for donation share if you want to or not. When it comes to R. Kelly, my donations, if any, I choose to do directly to him. I don't want to go around any loops or anything like that at all. That's the God honest truth, pretty much, yeah. So I have his stuff down there on my desk. So, but um, I looked at the number as to where they are with the signatures on there. Man, shout out to that. I saw over 20 some thousand right now. They're hoping to get close to, what is it, the million signatures on there. So uh, I'm going to share it on my Facebook page for whatever it's worth. I don't even know, share it on Instagram, but they probably take it down. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't with R. Kelly. Um, got people mad. I saw one show, the young lady is mad or was saying something about how, his music is being put back out here. And I was like, well, what do you want? You just want him totally naked. And I don't mean naked like unclothed. I mean nothing. Nothing. You want him with nothing. I was listening to this lady. And the nerves of the people that's trying to push R. Kelly's music and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? Seriously? You know? But for that part, I almost came on like, well, I'll just play all of his stuff. But Rated R does a good job with that. I could be at work and Rated R come on, and I'll see it because I don't get notifications, y'all. I don't know why. I have to be on YouTube and I'll be scrolling. I'm like, oh, Rated R is live. And I can sit there and be working on my paperwork. I turn off my headphones from what I'm listening to because I know Rated R is about to bring that music. And it just, I'm like, look at it. Yeah, I like me some Rated R, okay? I like me some Rated R. I love his commentor voice. He has that. Rated R got that microphone voice. Hear ye, being there. I like me some Rated R. I like me some Rated R. I don't give a shit what y'all say. I like me some Rated R. He tickles me too. And I mean, he be dead on point. I'm gonna have to go over there and get some skills from him. Rated R, you need to come and show me how to do my freaking thumbnails and quit playing. You know I done paid your ass about 8,000 already. You ain't even get me one thumbnail going. How you do that damn shit? Do I need an app for that too? I'm like, how the hell y'all making these? Oh, nice, pretty thumbnail. I don't even know. And I haven't sat down and took the time, but you need to get your butt over here on this phone and get to helping me with this. We need to do Skype or whatever you do, FaceTime. You help me get my thumbnails out. I need help. You know I need help. To send your ass over there laughing at my generic ass thumbnails and you up there all night. No, that ain't how we about to roll, bro. Mm-mm. Hi, TSW. How are you? How's your day? Yeah, yeah. But I'm ready. Y'all gonna help me. I don't care what he said. I'm gonna drive my butt down there to your state and with my equipment. I don't care what you say. And you gonna buy the goddamn lunch. You are. You will. Only thing you can't do, Radar, you can't be puffing and shit around me. I can't stand that shit. Now I can sit up and laugh at you while you do, but you don't be puffing that shit. That shit make me sick, man. Some stinky shit. You can't do that. Then I get to meet your dog. So maybe one day, me, you, and Lily, summer month coming up, get together and go. Don't be blowing that smoke over here. Get that goddamn smoke up out my there. Get on up out of here. What's good with you, TSW? What's good with you? What's good, girl? So, but that's that. I'm still supposed to bring y'all part two, but I think Catfish done threw in the white towel. She don't want to beef and argue no more because she can't stoop down to my level to be at it with no young, dumb, I call myself young, isn't that cute? With your young, dumb, stupid ass and blah, 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 when all I did was a reaction to her video. I didn't make that stuff up. That was reacted to her video. But I think she threw in the towel. She made a post, I'm not going to be doing yappity, yappity, yippity, yap, yap, yap. And that's fine, but I'm still going to react to what I want to react. And I haven't made up my mind quite bit because I might get bored tonight because tonight is wine night. So I will have some wine. And I still might finish my part two of just to have some shits and giggles tonight. But don't y'all forget, sign that petition out there. So I'm good, getting ready to go out in this snow. I should have went out yesterday and it was nice, but I slept like I really just relaxed and slept. Y'all, I fell asleep. No, I actually finished it on that movie Battleship. Man, that shit was good. I've never seen it. It was good. I really liked it. It was about, the Navy ship, the U.S. Wisconsin, the U.S. Missouri, the U.S. They all, out there. And then you got the aliens come down, and all that, to try to take over. Now, scared the shit out of me, right? Because they start sending these, like, little bombs, these bombs that sticks inside of the ship, right? Once they hit the ship and they were blowing them up. So I was asking myself, now, how is it that the United States are going to be able to fight against that, right? Then they had these robotic wheels that come out that had chainsaws and stuff hooked to them that's just drilled through all of the metal doors and y'all, I'm not now I'm over here like, wait a minute. Now I was told that the United States of America had one of the baddest, coldest Marines out there, right? The baddest and the coldest weapons out there, right? But okay, I gotta ask y'all something when I say that, right? But, and I'm saying, now how they gonna go up against some shit like this that's alienated from, man, what the hell? Hey, did y'all got to go catch the movie the Battlefields. Rated R. Have you seen that movie? Cuz I'm like, "Oh shit, there's no way that the United States of America has weapons that can go up against this type of shit." So, in my pre-dream, cuz when I nodded off, the movie was kind of still on me. Hey, Miss Denise Love. Hey, beautiful. And I was going into this dream about it, right? 'Cause I just finished watching this movie. And the question in my mind was like, well, how are we going to fight them? What if the aliens do come down? What if they do start doing... What are we going to do? Because I ain't seen no shit like this from the United States, military. But I'm also told that the military got the toughest stuff in the world, right? The good. Now, I'm good, beautiful. I'm good, right? TSW, don't laugh at me because I'm in this dream. I'm like, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? These aliens are about to take over. Now, if I can remember, I watched a movie, an old movie, and you know how some of those old movies that you watch, actually, if you see and you hear what's going on around the world, they had already done told us, right? And I was like, oh hell no, we about to die, y'all. We about to die, right? There's no way that we can go up against alienated freaking people and the type of weapons and shit that they had. They was blowing these ships up. They couldn't match them, y'all. But of course, now you have a very smart captain or whatever got these ideas, and because you got to play, the tricks and the gameplay around the aliens, right? We got to figure out what it is that they don't like, what they like, how they move, what's making them operate, so that we can disconnect that and do it. So they found all this out, right? Turns out that one of the guys that ended up somehow one of the aliens ended up on the USS Missouri, I think it was, right? And they took a picture of the eye, one of the guys on the Navy ship, right? And he went to study or Google Google the eyes, right, and trying to see what's going on. He ended up pulling up a particular type of insect. The insect turns out, I think it was worm or some type of bug, right? So he noticed that what is harmful to this particular insect that had the similarity in the eye structure, colorism, everything about the eye from this alien. And he tested it somewhere. I'm just saying he tested it because he had to test it, right, in lab, whatever, by starting with different experiments. And he discovered that, oh, this bug can't tolerate the sun, light. They can't see well in bright light. I was like, well, okay, we about to kill all these people, but this is why they wore the particular type of this alien mask on their face, right, in protection of a bright sun. But however, um, this was one of their methods in disassembling, their protocol. As long as they can't see, we have the advantage, right? As long as so they had to take the USS, I think it was the Missouri, right? Because all of their ships got blowed up. So they go over on the water because they had to jump from one of the ships from being blown up, right? I had jumped. So now they ended up on the tourist USS Marshall, Missouri, or one of the other boats, Wisconsin, or whatever. And it was a whole bunch of older guys, working on this boat because this boat now is out there just for tourists, right? You can go on and do this, kind of what I did. I showed you guys that. We went on the USS Wisconsin, I think, down in, we were in New York. I think we were. I got to go back and see where we were in New York or where we were in Pennsylvania. It was in one of them, right? And we took that tour on the USS. So the one of the Navy guys goes, well, we can't use this. This boat ain't been ran and started up in almost 60 something freaking years. It's used for entertaining and tourists, right? So all of a sudden, the who had been moved up a ranking to the what do you call the rank for the captain? He was the captain now, right? Because the captain was his brother, but his brother got killed in one of the bombing of the ships that they were on, right? So he stared up in space. He's looking. He's thinking. Now all of a sudden he see all of these older Navy guys on this ship who, of course, is working on the ship for the tourists. And they know where things are. They keep things going. They do this. They do that, right? So they ended up joining together. The ship started up. They getting everything together, lights going, all of the mechanic controls that they need, and they checking their armor stuff. They checking the explosives and all that. They got it together, girl. They roll this old ass boat out there to go to war, y'all. Now, mind you, they got open communications because somehow the aliens cut all communications off. So there is no phones, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no video, there's nothing to communicate through online through anybody, not even your what do you call that house up there? Not the White House, the I forget the name of that one. The little small Capitol building that controls and have all the big people, up there to know what's going on, right? No communication line. But of course, there's somebody out there, another scientist, and he dilly dabbling. He had a phone. They get communications. He said you have to find the loopholes to get through it, right? Now, mind you, y'all, they take the ship out there, cold as hell, right? There's a Chinaman on it. They ain't know where this Chinaman came from. I think he swam over there and got on the boat because they blowed up his ship too, right? And he ended up joining. So they had to put all their heads. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was what's the lady name? Pentagon. Thank you, boo. I love y'all, especially when my mind ain't thinking like, oh, what the fuck is the name of it? Y'all got me right. I love that. But what's her name? The one that's going viral right now, Tanyarea, whatever her name is, black girl, right? I think she's in the movie. I'm pretty sure because she is the bomb controller. She's the one that aims and targets and then fire when she's under command to fire, right? I think that was her, right? Because she has very distinctive characteristics in her face, right? She's got her own distinctive look, right? But so now they out there, right, y'all? So now you got the captain, and then you got the Chinaman. They got their head together, right? When I tell y'all, they formation was on point. Now this here in my dream saying, well, we gonna be okay. Because I know if these 6 or 7 people that was left here on board, plus maybe the 6 or 7 older Navy retired militant people, right? 14, 15 people on board, y'all. They took these aliens out. So I woke up and was like, oh, we're gonna be okay. Wait a minute. You put the right people in the right place, the United States, and we have the minimum of not just manpower, but the control power of using, of weaponizing themselves, right? Because they didn't have much on this boat, but they made it work out. They was blowing all that shit up. Not only that, with the communication lines coming back open with some little loopholes through it due to this one scientist that was out somewhere in some freaking field somewhere doing something. I don't know what he doing. Oh yeah, so that made me think too. This is why a lot of stuff happened too, because you got all these scientists and different things going. People all buried somewhere up under the ground and doing this experimenting and working on this shit and doing this shit, a whole bunch of shit going on. And I know we got to keep up with the times and stay a step ahead of what these people call could be the enemies out here, right? Want some of the American way. But they did that shit, right? So I'm in my dream, dog, TSA. I'm still in this pre-dream, right? Because this movie is still fresh in my head. And this is some of the reason why I don't like to watch a lot of TV and stuff like that and then go to bed because that shit stick with you and then you start dreaming up and thinking a whole bunch of goofy ass shit. But is it really goofy? Because history shows us where a lot of stuff that didn't happen way, way back there in the BC and the ADC and the CBS and up until the 60s literally just repeats itself here now in our current lives. Like I can literally say, damn, I saw that. Damn, long time ago. I can do that, right? But baby, they start blowing them aliens up. They start blowing them up,
Thank you.
y'all. You're welcome. So the movie was really, really good. Y'all gotta check it out. Battleship. It was really good. I watched. That movie was good. I ain't never seen the movie and never was gonna argue about the movie.
Yes, you have.
I don't remember. You know,
I
if I
know.
ain't
That's
seen it
what
in
it
quite
is.
so long, I
You
didn't
don't
remember.
remember, yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I fell asleep and it was on my mind. And then I can recall actually you saying at some point how the United States of America was one of the most powerful and coldest militant, you said,
Militaries in the world.
in the world.
Not one of. They are the.
But after looking at the Battleship movie, and you see the weapons that they had destroying those ships out there, the military couldn't even hold up against them at all.
Baby, that was some alien shit.
So what if the alien shit come down and do and attack us
Okay,
like
well,
that?
let me
How are
rephrase
we
it
gonna
for you.
fight that?
Let me rephrase it for you.
What do we have to
I
fight
said,
alien
I
shit?
said, let me rephrase it for you, that statement.
Yeah.
From what we know, from what's common here in this world, what's worldly, the United States is the most powerful military in the world. Now, I don't know about outer space or dark hole or some aliens, but as far as human civilization, there is no military might that's stronger than the United States. And listen, I'm not one that's in favor of the United States in a lot of ways. But when I say in a lot of ways, because people talk their shit. Go carry your ass to one of them other countries and live. You could break your neck to get back over here.
Okay. Now, so you don't think that in some lifetime that we won't be under attack by aliens?
Maybe, maybe not. But what can you do about that? We are the most powerful. The United States is the most powerful military in the world. I have no idea what could go on in the future or if there's aliens or life on other planets or not. But we're talking about here on Earth, there's no military might that's strong.
Okay. My second question, since it is said or noted, let's just say noted on the record that the USA, United States of America, has some of the most powerful, what you call those bullets and stuff?
Nuclear missiles?
Yeah, to weaponize themselves with, right? Why do they sell them off? Why is Trump
Okay, let
selling
me
them
answer
off?
that
I
question.
need to
Let
know
me answer
that.
that question.
Why would you
Let me
sell off
answer
what
the
you
question.
have?
You don't have to go no further.
Okay, because I've been confused about
I
that.
told you this before, but just don't, let me tell you.
Just tell me.
The stuff that the United States sell is obsolete to the United States.
Then why would they buy it?
Let me finish. The stuff they sell to other countries is obsolete to what the United States have. They will not sell the current technology that they use. The technology that they sell to other countries this technology just like the flip phone. The flip phone versus the iPhone, it's obsolete now.
I understand that. But with that being said, let's use China, for example, because I think that Trump said that he just sold XXX to China. Why would they buy some bullshit that they know just in case if they have to come up against the United States won't work? Why would you do that?
Them building other countries building their might is not just based on them being able to fight a war or to throw punches with the United States. It's for their country's security
From other?
as a whole, not just with the United States. And a lot of technology that other countries, especially countries that's advanced countries like China and Russia, if they were to get their hands on it or they buy it, and they buy it as a template to try to build something else off of it, that because they already know that if the United States is selling it, that the United States got some 5 times, 10 times more stronger than that. But they buy those components as a template to try to build off of to make something better. They take the technology out of those and then they work at it and they try to get the might and get it up to speed with what they feel another country might have that's superseding theirs.
But don't you think, when you agree, or as is said and stated, because China has one of the best scientists in the world?
Now, the best scientists in the world comes from Sweden and Germany and Russia. That's why Russia was the first people on the moon. Sputnik, The Russian was the first people on the
And
moon.
China's just what, copycats?
No. China is it's technology. They are technologically advanced, just not to the point of the United States. The United States is first and foremost. They better be careful, which they are. They know these things. If I know them, you know they know them, right? Because you got countries like Russia and China that's working diligently trying to keep up. Now, Russia and China have more people than the United States. Russia and China have more tanks, more airplanes, more ships.
I thought you said we have more land, more.
No. Have more, we're talking about military. They have more planes, more ships, more artillery, more tanks than the United States. But one of United States tanks is equivalent to 5 or 6 of China or Russia tanks. You understand? One of United States airplanes is equivalent to 8 or 9 of what China has. Now they got some shit that we done sold them 10 years ago. That shit is obsolete. They got some shit where they shoot 150 miles out before they even see the other airplane now. That's the trick to it.
Because I'm like, well, why is Trump selling?
Not Trump. The
Oh, you know what I mean.
Not Trump.
Yeah.
The United States government, way before Trump, sells the stuff. And what it does is, because it can't hurt, they won't sell anything that can hurt the United States.
Right.
Let me finish. So they sell it, and they take the money that they make off of it, and then they put that back into some more technology.
And create something
and
more better.
It helps keep the United States way ahead with all of the extra money instead of them coming out of their pocket for all the stuff that they do. It makes a whole bunch of sense if you understand it.
I mean, I understand it and I get it. However, TSW, I don't know. I mean, because who are all considered the United States, America, enemy?
Socialist countries, communist countries, China, Iran, Iraq, a lot of Middle Eastern countries, Iran, Iraq, Russia, but it don't compete to the United States allies, Sweden, Denmark.
And why is United States considered as
superpower?
an enemy to these countries?
Because of their socialistic beliefs. Okay. Because of other countries' socialistic beliefs, and this country is built on a democracy, a belief of democracy, and they feel that as a challenge. And because of the United States democratic beliefs, the democracy, and the way the government is here, you get a lot of countries that fall in suit that want to be in bed with the United States,
and
which entail makes countries like Russia and China and was it North Korea, Iran, Iraq, makes them more anxious because that does nothing but also then builds the military might. They got a bunch of little countries that ride with them, the North Korea, Iran, Iraq, and all. They don't compete with Canada. They don't compete with Europe, England, France, Sweden, Denmark, Germany. You understand? It's nothing compared to what they got. So by the way our government is and by the way that the United States assists so many other countries, especially with military might, that's one draw for other countries is to get in bed with us. And just by having our name on a dotted line with them, it's a deterrent from other countries to do shit like Russia is doing over there in Ukraine right now. And they ain't going to do that because they know the United States is coming. So because of our concepts and beliefs, not ours, I like to say them, this government's concepts and beliefs, it draws other countries in, which makes this country smarter, make this country stronger.
So you're not saying they have became, or the government has these countries as enemy because of the democracy of the United States based on the freedom and the diversified way to live over here. Yeah. Right? Yeah, so and that's what I thought. So, but to say that, and and I'm not trying to get into politics, right? But to stand there and you listen to Trump speeches and you have, wait a minute, I know how you feel about that. The Republicans and the Democrats that fight against each other, where this country it's has been birthed into that particular type of democracy, the land of the free, the home, the brave, all the First Amendment, all the constitutional rights and everything that allows people to be humanized in this country, right? But Trump stands up there where you use the word to show how he is trying to imperialize imperialize himself as if he was in the where like Putin is and how they run, or how England runs their country, where everything now is going to be controlled under his ways, or how he wants it to be. Well, wouldn't that be pulling the United States away from the realm of democracy? When
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is
What's the
why
main thing you? Go ahead.
what
Let
I'm
me finish.
saying is,
Let
if
me
if
finish.
this is the country that is supposed to be the
Break it down, Jackie, because I can't wait to get in here.
why
Because
are
the key thing to what you said is
why
Trump.
is it
The
that
key
people
thing to
right
what you
voted
said-
Trump in to pull
Li-
us away from
listen,
what's supposed to be a great country
listen.
to
Listen. The key thing to what you said, the key name into what you said was Trump. When you talk about stuff like this, you can't use Trump as a template. Use one of the other presidents.
I would
And-
like to
and-
use the
and-
founder
and-
fathers of it, but
and-
go
and
ahead.
finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Use one. You don't have to go back to the founding fathers. Use one of the other presidents as a template instead of Trump. Trump is abnormal. Trump is an anomaly to the office of the president of the United States. So I mean, you can't base any judgments or ask any questions why this way or that way based on what you see and hear coming out of Trump's mouth and what you see that's going on behind his presidency. So he's just an anomaly. He only has 2.5, 3 more years there, and he's going to lose a lot of power during the midterms because the Democrats are going to take the House and the Senate, and then he's going to be shot down. A lot of that shit that he's getting away with now during the midterms is coming up, not too long from now. It's going to take a lot of his power away. So like I said, the key thing to your argument, the key thing to the question that you were asking about, what did you say? Why would he do things to
Change the we're on democracy.
to change the democratic level of this country? Is the key thing that right there in itself. When you mention Trump, you have to take him out of the equation. What other presidents, we ain't got to go back, has done the dumbest ass shit like that? Now, he's done a couple good things. He, for whatever reasons, I don't know if his reason, it might have turned out good. We don't know if that was his intention. He wants to be a gangster like Putin. He don't have the ability. This country will not let him, those Republicans up there that have ride with him and be doing his bidding and don't say nothing, if he tries to go as far as doing some shit like Putin in Putin's own country and that Putin does in other countries, this country won't let him, this government, this democracy won't let him do it. He can't do it. He can't be a gangster like Putin. And Putin is a real gangster, a clear gangster. He can't
But that's
do that
all,
here.
because I was like, well, if we're supposed to be
They already let him get away with
so
too
great, and then
motherfucking
like
much.
TSW says that, well, some countries we have been viewed as a protection from other countries.
Exactly.
But if we allow what's going on in the Republican,
Only to an extent.
then we won't be a great country to be
only
used
to-
as protection,
only
because
if-
we'd have lost democracy, right?
Only to an extent, and I just hit on that. They're only gonna let him go so far. He's gonna get a lot of flack about going over there to Venezuela. That's cool. Don't let him go. Let him try to go over there and take Greenland, and then you'll really see. Let him try to go. They're only gonna let him go so far. And the other thing that I see it is what? How long do we have to suffer Trump? 2.5, 3 years. It's over with. So Putin just passed a bill a year and a half, 2 years ago, that the president over there, because they got elections over there, can stay in office for a lifetime as long as he's reelected.
That's what he tried to do over here.
No, he didn't do that.
He
Let me explain to you. No, he didn't do that.
He said that
Now,
he was going to try to pass the
You let me
bill
tell you.
so that he can stay in office for the
tell you.
lifetime.
You let me know. No. After Putin did that, sometime after Putin did that, Trump came up and he's got a bill up, it's still up there now, to where he's saying he's trying to serve 12 years altogether. His bill says that any president should be able to serve 2 consecutive terms.
Okay.
In other back
Facts.
to back. Now, by him having to serve 1 term already, then he was reelected, and now he wants to serve 2 terms now. So 8 years instead of 4 years. But no, the Constitution says that a president can only be in office 8 years, period. Whether you served in 1966 and you come back and serve in 1989, you can't go back and serve in 1995.
But his argument is consecutive. He wants to be able to do it
consecutive. To be able to serve just because of his predicament. He was a 1-term president, like Ford, like who was the other one? Was it Carter? Ford, Carter, yeah, a 1-term president. Most presidents do 2 terms, but they didn't vote Ford back. But Ford didn't get voted in. Ford came into the presidency behind the Watergate scandal with Richard Nixon. But when it was time when the elections came around, the people didn't vote Ford back in. I think Carter didn't get voted back in, and people feel that was a hell of a mistake because Jimmy Carter was actually a good president. He wants to be able to serve 2 consecutive life sentences, 2 consecutive 4-year terms in the presidency, and he mimicked that. He thought about that. He came up with that. I'm thinking behind what Putin did, because it came shortly after Putin passed that bill over there with him, saying that that the president or the premier, whatever you call him over there, can stay in office for a lifetime as long as they're voted in. Now, why would Putin do that? Because now he has to worry about being voted in, right?
Right.
Hell no, he don't. He controls that.
The whole
All
thing.
he got to do is the people over there, or the government over there, to say yeah, and then he cool, because Putin finna stay in there till he get ready to leave or till he die.
Now, TSW said, wait a minute, because I thought, and I knew, I heard Trump say that, but you can't take Trump sometimes with a grain of salt on what he says. She says that he waived, he says he wants to waive the time for how long a president can stay in office. He was trying to make that he did state that on one of his things. I heard
him. Waive the time, and the rest behind waiving the time, unless it's something that I had missed, and I follow this stuff closely. Yeah, he wants to waive the time to allow the United States president to serve 2 consecutive terms. Instead of 8 years, he wants them to stay in at 12 years. I didn't take from that, unless I missed something, that he's talking about a life, or they can serve 10 terms or whatever. I got it that, yeah, he wants to waive that so that he can so a president that's a 1-term president can stay in office 2 more terms, which is 12 years. That's what I got out of it. Now, I might have missed.
See, I got out of it that he was trying to mimic what Putin was, is doing, which is to stay into his term for a life term. He wanted to stay where he is until either he dies or he quits. That's what I got out of it. That's what I got, TSW, when he said that, because if they vote him back in, right? Because this would be
if they pass the bill.
If they pass the bill, so on the next presidential election, right? There's no way that he should be in the race to run for president, because he's already completed a term.
What you mean should be?
He shouldn't.
Absolutely, you're absolutely.
He shouldn't.
He's not going to, and
but that's what he's pushing against.
I know what he's pushing on, but there's not a chance in hell of that happening.
Oh, she says, yeah, he don't want to time frame the presidency.
There you go.
Okay, I got it.
No chance in hell of that happening. And Trump, let me tell you, Trump is worried right now. That's why he's been pushing so hard for candidates that's coming up in the primary, because he knows that if the Democrats during the primaries is coming up take the House and the Senate, they are going to impeach him because now they have the majority. So they're going to agree to impeach him. And now he doesn't. But you still, whether they agree to impeach him or not, you still got the justice system that's going to have work with them, as we've been seeing, the Department of Defense, what's that, the Attorney General, the FBI. So it might be all the blah, blah, blah. I think Trump is going to jail. Sometime after his presidency, I think Trump is actually going to go serve time in a penitentiary, the first president ever.
Oh, wow.
That's what I think. Now, it's going to be after his presidency. But I think that he's going to penitentiary.
Yeah. I don't know. TSW, what do you think about them now calling the investigation over Governor Walz up there and the mayor? He just put out, they're doing a investigation.
I about all that shit.
I don't even understand that.
Just like he got indicted.
TSW says she agree with you. She says she thinks that he is going to go to jail.
Just like they indicted Trump for interfering with the election when he tried to get dude to change the amount of votes. I forgot what state it was in. Just like that, him going after these people that disagree with him or he sees as a threat. That's going to be some of the charges that he's going to be brought up on in the future. It's like he's investigating this mayor and this governor. He's investigating the Treasury Secretary and all that shit. The stuff that's going on with Gabby Giffords' husband, the astronaut, when he said that a United States troop, military, has the right to disregard unlawful orders. And now they're attacking this man now.
Exactly.
With outstanding standings.
Yeah.
Him and his wife. Gabby Gifford is the one that got shot in the head when she's doing her speech. That's his wife. He's an astronaut, an admiral, and all that shit.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
He's a congressman.
Yeah, it's just so, it's a lot, and if you don't follow and you don't stay on top of it, it becomes a lot to actually unpack. I'm usually just jumping on something that I might have seen yesterday or something like that, but yeah, like he said, he follows this, but at least like, okay, if I have a go-to person, because I'll see someone, I'm at work or whatever, and I'll be like, bang. And then I know he didn't watch the whole thing, so he's able to be like, well, this happened because of this, and then so-and-so has happened to this, and this is what I think about that.
In the state of our government, the state that it's in right now, you really don't have to watch too much more, other than just want to know what's going on and being informed. Your job, our job is, like I tell you all the time, the only thing that you can do is...
Yeah. So, sorry, I had a phone call. He says like the only thing that's pretty much left, to strengthen what should be done by the people, of the people, is
I said the only thing that can
you
be
got
done
to
at
get
this
out and
point,
vote.
You pretty much, because you said you got to watch and blah blah. You really don't got to watch no more. We have saw enough. The only thing that can be done now, right now, it's on the government to contain Trump. He's getting away with a lot of stuff. He gonna get away with some more stuff. He ain't gonna get away with nothing, like I said. See if he go over there and with a military action against Greenland. I bet you that'll never happen. Them motherfuckers ain't finna let that happen. They stopping that. They not finna let that happen. So the only recourse.
So he just like to be out here talking that old gangster stuff.
The only recourse that you have right now, that we have right now, you can watch and pay attention because you want to know what's going on, but it really does nothing. Is to use the vote. Like I keep telling you, use the vote. That's it. That's what your power is right there. Your power is the vote.
Yeah. Well, I guess, we were saying, but it gets a little scary. It does make you think, sometimes about your life, maybe some changes that you need to do.
And try to change the demographic of voting areas in these states, and you had Republicans that went against And actually, now the Democrats have has won the demographic voting. I don't forget the name and all what you uh, a geographical advantage now over the Republicans. They said hell no, we ain't doing that. And he went to and he cut off funding and all this
He
shit
did.
for
He just
for those reasons.
he just said, I think it was Friday morning, like they will not be sending any more funding or anything to Minnesota. All become like what? He says not to the schools, not to no, and I'm like, really, Trump? Now that's petty. You don't,
Not and seeing stuff like that, what's going to happen? They're going to file a suit,
which they have.
and the courts is going to stop stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because of what's going on, you're going to let it affect the people's health care. You're going to let it affect the kids going to school. The court's going to go stop that shit. It's going to be
Yeah.
an injunction.
Yeah. Okay, I will. I'll check it on Rated R. So, but that was devastating to me. It was so devastating to me because the people are calling for the protection of the law to apply to this federal ICE police officer, just like it would have applied to any other constituent that was in the federal position. But as far as law enforcement, but with them protecting this person the way that they did and not allowing it to play out in the judicial system as it should have, whether if they would have found him guilty and or innocent, let it play out. But those people up there, they not playing, and they just wanted some answers, and I think that that's all they wanted. They wanted it to be constitutionalized the way that it was supposed to be, not go and take someone and throw him away from from the public and the judicial system, disrespecting how the law is supposed to work and why these laws are in place like this. And that is his chance. That was his chance to
They want to take the power of state away and give it to the
and give
government.
it to the
And the
yeah.
reason that they're trying to take the power of state away and give it to the government because then they can bring in their own entities to do the investigation. And if some charges are filed against that person, it's on a state level, not a federal level, and there's no pardoning men on the state
Right,
level.
right.
That's one reason.
Wow. So, but they in the uproar. So now you have them, the administration up there, pushing back by saying how they're not going to be providing the essentials to Minnesota State. And I'm like, this is how y'all fight back. So then, of course, Minnesota's fighting back with these lawsuits now. I'm like, all of this. And all of this goes on, and it's able to go on because of with the usage of the taxpayers' dollars. All of this, and I know it's thousands and millions and trillions of it, and so people may say, "Well, all this not going to hurt anything," and I think just more, morally, it kind of does, because you're thinking like, "What?" And as you hear most people would say, "I amend the better things that can be done and provided to the United States country with the usage of taxes," but this is why they have these preserved taxes that are money coming from people that takes care of this country. They preserve these little bank stashes for these type of situations that occur. So, but guess what, y'all? That's my time. I just delivered a few of my opinions on this and on that. Hey, I'm trying to get the link put up for whatever it's worth out here. But if because it got shared to me, but I don't know, like I got to copy it, put it in there. I don't know. I couldn't copy it directly off of Rated R's channel, but he has the link over there for the petition if you would like to participate and choose to sign it. That petition is growing. I don't know who's behind it, what's behind it, how it's behind it, but if it's for you, then go let it be for you. And if it ain't, then go on and do what you got to do, what you're doing in your life. But I'm up out of here. We got to get up out this house. Got a few things to take care of. Y'all have a peace and blessed day. I'm out. Bye.